Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Guess what? I'm about to go onto the dark side. So I had this fantastic care package recently sent to me by my friends over at silverprint.co.uk. Silverprint is a company in the UK that supply photographic products in and outside of the UK. They stock a wide range of film, chemicals and paper for us film nuts, as well as products for the digital shooter. If you want James Lane's 510 Pyro, Silverprint is the only company in the UK that sends it worldwide. So a massive thanks and shout out goes to Silverprint for sending me this stuff to play around with and put me on the dark side of film. They call it dark side. I did a video a while back, probably last year, with Ribsy, and I was shooting colour for the first time, and I had a string of comments of people saying you'd gone to the dark side. I didn't quite know what that meant, but I love black and white. But let's try colour, eh? So it seems like Silverprint want to get me shooting colour, and they sent me this, and they sent me this, and they sent me this, and this. I wasn't quite sure what to go for first, so I decided to go for C41. I've never mixed this stuff before in my life, so I grabbed the packet of C41, and inside was the instructions as well as 3 other packets. So in this video you're going to see me mixing C41 chemicals, you're going to see me shooting colour film, you're going to see me developing colour film, see how I get on with it. I can't print unfortunately because I don't have a colour head enlarger in my darkroom, so I'm going to be scanning and showing you guys the results at the end. And I guess the message is, if I can do it, anyone can. So Silverprint sent me 2 rolls of this stuff, Cinestill 50 daylight film. It's a 50 ISO film, and I believe it's a motion picture film from Kodak underneath the cassette. So I've got some good stock. If it's Kodak, I've got some good stock. So the first thing I've got to do is mix this Cinestill C41 powder into a liquid form. So I have this large packet, and inside this packet I've got 3 other packets. I've got a part A and 2 part Bs. Part A is the developer and the 2 part Bs is the bleach and the fixer. So it's pretty simple. All I've got to do is mix part A, which is the developer, in 600 millilitres of water at a temperature of 38 degrees. Give it a good old mix using my thermometer. Get a stirring rod if you can, and put gloves on. I've lost mine. Once it's all mixed up, chuck in more water at the same temperature to fill the jug to 1000 millilitres and then bottle it. That's your part A already done. That's your developer. Put it to one side. Next up is part B. You've got the bleach and the fix, otherwise known as Blix. So the same again, you fill a jug with 600 millilitres of water at 38 degrees, you add part A and then give it a good mix, then add more water to make 1000 millilitres. You then bottle that into an airtight container, and I use these accordion bottles. Once that's done, you then want to pour in the part B powder, and you're pretty much done. All you've got to do now is, long word coming up, endothermic reaction. Basically you've got to mix the 2 like this, out of the container, into the jug, blah, blah, blah. Keep doing that for 5 minutes, it says. I've not got a clue what all that is. I'm not a photochemist, but I can only imagine that you're creating some sort of chemical reaction and making it good. If it says it in the instructions, that's what you do. So I did that for 5 minutes, doing this for 5 minutes. And then once that was done, I put the cap on the bottle and then labelled them, 1 developer and 1 Blix. And so far there was only one part of the instructions that kind of threw me. It says store mixed solution in a tightly capped, completely filled storage container for 2 to 6 weeks. Well, you're having a laugh, aren't you? I just developed. I want to go and take some pictures and develop my film. I've got to store this for 2 to 6 weeks. What is it, like a beer or something? You know. Didn't understand. That's what it read. So I thought I need to ask somebody. So I decided to text Ribsy, and I said, "Ribs, help us out. Is this right?" Ribsy thought I was winding him up, but I wasn't. And the best way to end the conversation is say something silly. So now all my developer is ready to go. I've got the film. I'm going to be shooting on the Nikon F5. So I've come down the beach early in the morning. It's just sunrise has just come up. It's a bit cloudy, it's a bit naff, but I thought what better place than to try out colour film than down the beach. There's some beach huts over there with some colour on, but first shot I'm going to take is here. It ain't that great, I must admit. I thought it'd be a bit of a better sunrise. At least the tide's out anyway, so I'm having to use a timer. I don't have a cable release for this camera, but this is okay. The timer will work fine. 1/3 of a second exposure. And I'm using matrix metering as well on this, so I'm letting the camera do everything for me. Right, that's one shot done. So I've got 36 shots inside this film. I tell you what, I'm not going to be shooting 36 shots just in case they come out wrong. So I'm only going to do probably half the roll and then cut the film out of the cassette and develop that, just in case something goes wrong. And then I've got another half of that film to, you know, experiment with and play around with. Nice little stones down here. Let's try this. Same again, timer. I'm shooting f7.1 so I can keep my shutter speed away from any reciprocity failures. That's what I'm worried about. Like I said, I don't know if that comes into account with colour film. I should imagine it does. There's lovely beautiful sand this morning, look. That looks quite a nice shot. There's not much light, it's a bit naff I think. But it's okay for a test. Hello. Bloody hell, my hat's just blown off, it's down there. I'm going to get it. Oh, it's soaking wet. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, now my head's cold. I nearly that like cold in the head, I tell you. Right, it's a bit too windy down here today. But we move. We'll carry on. The beach hut's over there. I was looking at a nice reflection in this puddle, but I think the water's a bit too ridey for that. But we'll take it anyway. So far I've got a couple of pictures. I lost my hat, found my hat. Started to rain. I'm getting a bit wet. Shit, you know. Time for this shit. Oh boy, that was cold. Man, it's got hot ice blocks again. Really cold down the beach this morning, really cold. And windy as well. It don't help that icy cold wind hitting you at the same time. I've got some pictures, I managed to get me hat. Let's go back and see if this all works. I really have not got a clue. I haven't tried it yet. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm still going to put the video out because there's plenty of people out there that will probably make the same mistakes maybe I did if it doesn't work. And I believe that, you know, it's a photography channel, we all make mistakes, and I like to show it. It just gives people encouragement that, you know, even if you're starting out and you're making mistakes, there's no point in giving up. It happens to all of us, you know. 19 shots I think I took. But like I said, I'm going to get back in the darkroom, open the back of the camera, pull out the film, cut it, put it in the developing tank, and save the rest of the cassette for another cold, crappy morning at the beach, or maybe not. See what we got. So I followed the instructions carefully. I used a kitchen sink with boiling hot water to get my chems up to 40 degrees. That took a while. Then I reduced the bowl of water to just over 40 degrees for keeping the chems at the same temperature. First up, I pre-washed the film for 1 minute in water at 40 degrees. That got the tank nice and warm. Then I set the timer for 3.5 minutes, checked the temperature of the developer, and it was bang on target. I put the developer in and did 10 inversions and then 4 inversions every 30 seconds, and in between each inversion I put the tank back in the bowl to keep that at temperature. Once the timer was up, I put the developer into a jug and got straight into the bleach and fix. I did exactly the same with the bleach and fix, but this time it was 8 minutes. Whilst that was sitting in between inversions, I put the developer back in the bottle for another time. When the timer was up on the bleach and fix, I poured it into a jug and started my wash, where I already had a jug of clean water ready at 40 degrees. I then transferred the tank to the bath, where I put in a shower head, and that was also at 40 degrees. But the water didn't look that clean from the big tank up in the loft, so I poured fresh clean water into the developing tank for a final rinse, again at 40 degrees. They say a stabiliser is recommended for archival reasons, but I don't have any, and I've also heard that these films don't really need it. Let me know in the comments what you think. I was happy to see my negs all looking fine and dandy. So the next thing to do is to scan the film and look at the fruits of my efforts. So that was my first time shooting and developing colour film, and I must say I found the development process very tedious. It was quite long-winded, you know, trying to keep those chemicals all at the same temperature and the tanks and everything, trying not to let it drop below at least 39 degrees. It wasn't hard, but it was just constant, do you know what I mean? Constant checking it. It was like looking after a little baby or something. It's bizarre. And then once I washed the negatives and hang them out to dry, once they dried, I started looking at them, and of course they're all, to me, they're all alien, you know. I haven't seen negatives like that since I was a little kid, without the shoebox, you know what I mean, from the holiday snaps. But when I got them on the light box and started scanning them in using my DSLR, I got the raw images through, and I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. So I just let Photoshop do its own thing, press the auto button, and I had to tweak a little tiny bit of colour balance in here and there on a few of them. But even then, I didn't know if I was getting the right colour balance on some of those pictures. The photograph of the calf on the sands, the woodwork on that was grey, but somehow I've got this kind of funny, strange looking colour on there. And also the wooden stairs, I noticed that the sand in the background wasn't kind of sandy colour, it was more heading towards magenta, and as much as I tried to play with it to try and tone it down and get it back to normal, I couldn't. And the boat shed, which has got the little chimney on the top, that's a black boat shed. That seemed to have come out slightly blue. Again, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was like, okay, have I messed the development up, or is this what colour film is like? I don't think it is, but maybe some of you guys can let me know in the comments what you reckon. I'd be interested to know. But going forward, Silverprint sent me that stuff, so I've still got some more colour development to play with and practice with. I've got some film as well. This film was sent to me by Crimson Obscura, some XP2, which is a C41 process film, so I'm looking forward to dabbling with that. And I've also got 3 other films as well, again from Crimson Obscura on Instagram. He sent me some Vision 500T Kodak stuff. Got 2 rolls of that, and also some super positive as well. This positive duplication film, I think 0.8 ISO, so that'll be interesting to play with. So what do I think of shooting and developing colour film? I don't really know, this is only my first time, to be honest with you. I must admit it didn't really float my boat that much. I think I would have been still more excited shooting black and white down the beach and seeing what I got in the negatives from that. But you know, this is the first time shooting colour film, so I can't really say whether I love it or I hate it. I certainly enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, and I'm just not sure whether colour film is for me. So who knows? It's I've still got some more colour chemicals to go through with the ECN2, some colour films to go through as well, and I've also got some 4x5 sheet colour film, some Portra to try out. So it will be fun trying to get around the hurdles, and who knows, if I get some really good results, I might start start really liking colour film photography, but on the dark side, as they say. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comments if you shoot colour. Watch the process that I did in the developing. Did I do anything wrong? Have you noticed anything with the photographs that I showed you, or the negatives that don't look right? I'd love to know from my own experience, and also other people as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you next time. I'm so knackered.